Let's talk about converse, inverse, and contrapositive of a conditional. So, whenever we have conditional statements, that is, statements with if and then, there are three terminologies: converse, inverse, and contrapositive. What is converse? Converse is nothing but, say, we have P conditional Q. So, converse would be reverse, that is, Q conditional P. Just swap P and Q's positions. What would be inverse? Inverse would be, we'll have to negate P and negate Q. Contrapositive would be swap what we have got in inverse. So it'll be negate Q and negate P. So let's go through a few examples. If so, let's take this example. So this is P and this is Q, and there is P conditional Q. So what would converse be? Converse is Q conditional P. So which is, if x is equal to 2, then x into x minus 2 is equal to 0. What would be inverse? Inverse is negate of P and negate of Q. So that will be, P is if x minus 2 not equal to 0, because it's negation of P, then x is not equal to 2. What will contrapositive be now for the same thing? We'll have to swap what we've got in inverse, right? So just swap this. This will be contrapositive. If x not equal to 2, then x into x minus 2 not equal to 0. Let's take another example. If oxygen is a gas, then accountancy is easy, or the child is brave. So if oxygen is a gas, this is one proposition. Accountancy is easy is another proposition. Child is brave is another proposition. So we have P, Q, and R. So let's first symbolize this. P, because there is if and then. P, accountancy is easy. So Q, or is, or the child is brave. So or R. This is what we have. Now what is converse of this? We can consider this as one unit, right? Something like Q. So P conditional Q. So converse would be Q conditional P, which is, what is Q here? Q or R. That is, accountancy is easy. We'll have to put if accountancy is easy, or the child is brave, then oxygen is a gas. Let's find the inverse, right? So inverse is negate P and negate Q. So we'll have negate P, conditional negate of Q or R. Now we'll have to split this using the laws. So it'll be, we have De Morgan's law, right? So we'll have negate P, negate Q, or will become and negate R. This is what we're going to get. So now let's write it in verbal form. So what do we get? If P, if oxygen is not a gas, because there is not P, then not Q. What is not Q? Accountancy is not easy. Then accountancy is not easy and not R. And the child is not brave. So this is the inverse. What is contrapositive? Contrapositive is nothing but just swap what we've gotten inverse. Right? This is inverse. Let's swap this. We just have to take this symbolic notation and swap it. So it will be not Q and not R, conditional on not P. So now let's write it in verbal form. Not Q. If accountancy is not easy because there is not Q and not R, and child is not brave, then oxygen is not a gas. Let's take an example. If two straight lines are parallel, then they do not intersect. So we have two propositions here. Let's take this as P and this as Q. So P is two straight lines are parallel. Q is straight lines intersect. So whenever there is a not, let's not put not in the proposition. We'll just put, it should be positive. They intersect, straight lines intersect. Now let's symbolize it. So we have if then. So P conditional, not Q here. Right? So what is converse for this? Converse is simple, which is Q conditional P. That is not Q conditional P. So let's write it in the verbal form. If straight lines do not intersect, then P. Then if two straight lines do not intersect, then they are parallel. Inverse. Inverse is negation. Negation of both propositions. So not P conditional, not Q. So what do we have here? So we have P conditional, not Q. So that's going to be not P conditional. There's already a not here, so it's going to be double negation, which is not P conditional Q. Double negation is the proposition itself, Q itself. So let's write it now in the verbal form. So not P. If two straight lines are not parallel, then they intersect. Let's arrive at contrapositive now. So what is contrapositive? Just the reverse of inverse. So what do we get here? It's not P conditional Q. So we'll get Q conditional not P. So we'll just reverse the statements now. If two straight lines, we'll take this, we'll swap this, we'll get it in the first half. If two straight lines intersect, then they are not parallel because we have not here.